Hello friends, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss the subject of electrical machine. In this subject we are going to discuss the topic is synchronous machine chapter. In the synchronous machine we earlier discussed the various construction part. They are rotating field type and also rotating armature type machine. We also discuss the working principle of synchronous machine. In this video lecture, we start with the comparison between salient pole type and non-salient pole type synchronous machine. The salient pole type machine is generally divided in stator and rotor parts, and also non-salient part is also have a stator and rotor. Here this is a salient pole type construction and this is a non-salient pole type construction machine. In the salient pole type construction, this is a stator part, this is a field system which are connected in this pole, and the pole is N or S pole. So we are represent here for a pole. This is a projected pole. This is known as projected pole. In the non-salient pole type construction, here is a stator, this is a field system, and also is a pole. This is a merged pole. We can write here for the merged pole. So the winding is, which can we write here. In the stator system, it carries a three-phase alternating current winding having the initial slot and full pitch or short pitch coil. We know that the conductors are transparent and insulated with the bundled machine vapor tap or vacuum tube in the impregnated pressure. We also know that the synthetic rains are used in a modern machine to replacing the bitumen parts. The winding is placed in a slot deep inside the semi-enclosed slot punched out in a stamping along with the ventilation hole. Shaft and hole keys. The stamping made of a low loss alloy steel, which is known as CRGO steel, is a wall for the small capacity machine and in a selection of a high rating machine. The stamping are assembled to form of a core under pressure and fitted between the non-magnetic end poles. In the rotor parts, we know that they are made of a solid alloy steel ultrasonically tested for the any defects. The 2 and 3rd of the rotor is milled for teeth. The normal coil are accommodated in a slot with a flat tip having the separator between turns. The slip rings are required to convey the current and made of a copper fitted on a metallic fitted on the half inside or outside of the main bearing. We know that the damper winding or damper bar are made of a copper material. These are the salted at both ends by meaning the salting ring or end rings. The field winding is made up of a rectangular conductor. This field winding is placed on a pole core. The rotor are usually vertically mounted with the bearings specially for water wheels alternator. The pole are carried out to a main hub of the rotor struck after the making them from the thick disc. The pole structure is laminated, so the slots are provided in a pole shoe to house damper winding. The damper winding is useful for starting a synchronous motor, and it is useful for a stability in a case of a synchronous motor and alternator. The field core are wound in a selection, so it is made of a rectangular strip. ओके फ्रेंड्स, तो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं कंपैरिजन के बारे में सेलिएंट पोल और नॉन सेलिएंट पोल टाइप synchronous machine. In the salient pole type synchronous machine, the diameter of the machine, when we consider the point of the diameter, there is a large diameter of the machine, while in the non salient pole type machine there is a small diameter. So we can take a point for the diameter basis, there is a large diameter. Here is a small diameter. In the axle length of the machine, the salient pole type construction, there is a axle length of the machine is small, while in the non salient type machine the axle length of the machine is large. When we take a point in a speed basis, the salient pole type machine, the speed is low, while in the non salient type construction the speed is high. When in the prime mover use is the salient pole type construction, there is a water turbine. In a non salient pole type construction, the prime mover used is a steam turbine. When we take a point of the rotor surfaces, there are projected type rotors. There are projected rotors in a salient pole type construction. Here is in a non-salient pole type construction, there is a smooth rotor surface. When we take a point in a air gap flux distribution in a salient pole type construction, there is a uniform air gap flux distribution is not in there. So we can write here to non-uniform air gap flux distribution. In a non-salient pole type construction, the more uniform than a salient pole type construction. So we can write here for a more uniform air gap flux distribution. In a damper winding point, the salient pole type construction, there is a use in a damper winding. So we can write to a present of a damper winding. In a non-salient pole type construction, they are not present in a damper winding. In a air gap between stator and rotor, there is a salient pole type construction is a non-uniform. While in the air gap between stator and rotor is a uniform in a non-salient pole type construction. सो फ्रेंड्स, ये थे कंपैरिजन के पॉइंट जिसके हम सेलेंट पोल और नॉन सेलेंट पोल को हम कंपेयर कर सकते हैं अलग अलग फिगर के द्वारा और अलग अलग पॉइंट्स के ऊपर. Now we discuss the next point. The next point is the EMF equation. The EMF equation of synchronous generator. We know that when the magnetic field is cut by the conductor, the EMF is induced in the conductor, and the magnitude of this dynamically induced EMF in the conductor depend upon the rate of cut of flux. So हम जानते हैं कि when the magnetic field is cut by the conductor, magnetic field जब कंडक्टर से कट होता है तो EMF तब इंड्यूस होता है इन द कंडक्टर के लाइन के ऊपर. सो दिस डायनेमिकली induced EMF of the conductor depends upon the rate of cut of flux. When we take a parameters like Z, so the Z is equal to number of conductors in series in the second number parameter is a T, where the T is equal to number of turn per phase. Where here the turn per phase is equal to 2. So we can write that the Z is equal to 2T. In the next parameter is a 5. 5 is equal to flux per pole in Weber. Weber is a unit of a flux. The next parameter is P. P is equal to number of pole. Number of poles. F is equal to frequency of induced EMF. And N is equal to speed of rotor. In RPM. Now here we know that the F is equal to Pn by 120. So we can write that N is equal to 120 F upon P. In a one revolution, each conductor is cut by flux. So P cross 5 and the time to cut this flux is a 60 upon n second. Here in a one revolution, the conductor is cut by the flux. By a flux, so we can write here to the flux is a P cross 5, and the time cut to this flux and time cut for this flux is a 60 upon n seconds. So in the average rate of cut of flux is equal to flux cut upon time. So we can write to flux cut is equal to 5 into P upon 60 upon n. So there is a 5p into n upon 60. In the average EMF induced in a one conductor, so we can write here to 5pn upon 60. This is the average EMF induced in a one conductor. When we take a Z conductor, so here we can write to average EMF induced in a Z conductor. So the P5n upon 60 into cross is Z. So here to write that 5 into P cross 120 F upon 60 cross P into Z. Here we take the value of n is equal to 120 F upon P. So this value put in this equation. So we can write here to 5 into P cross n value we put in this form is a 120 F upon P. 60 is the same way in the 60 and Z is the same way as a Z. So here in the stage to calculate that in a value is 2 5 F into Z. In this value here is a Z point. We know that the number of turn per phase is equal to Z. Here in the turn per phase is equal to 2. So we can put the value is Z is equal to 2. To T. So here to 4 5 F into T. This is a average EMF induced in a Z conductor. In the RMS EMF per phase, when we take a next point to RMS value, in the RMS EMF per phase, here to know that is a 1.11 into average EMF per phase. So this is a form of RMS EMF per phase is equal to 1.11 into average EMF per phase. The average EMF per phase value is 4 5 F into T. So this value is put in the main equation. So 1.11 into 4.4 into 5 into F into T. When we multiply this in the last stage, 4.44 5 F into T volts. This is the RMS EMF per phase value. This is a full pitch and concentrated winding, but for the frictional pitch and distribution winding, the coil span factor and distribution factor are taken into account. So this is the phase value of the voltage. If the stator winding is delta connected, then the line voltage will be same as per the phase voltage. But if it is a star connected, then the line voltage will be a root 3 times for the phase voltage value obtained in above. Now we take a next point is a rating of generator, synchronous generator. We know that in every rotating electrical machine, when it is in operation, the losses occurs. Losses includes the copper loss, iron loss, frictional and windage loss. The copper losses are variable losses. There is known as I square R losses. All these losses produce the heat. The temperature rises is dependent on I square R losses only because the order losses is a constant. In other losses is a constant. The rating of machine is governed by temperature rises because the insulation may be damaged if the permissible temperature rises is excited, so the temperature rises is due to the importance. Now we consider a synchronous generator with a rated current is 50 ampere and rated voltage is 230 volt. And rated voltage is 230 volt. Suppose it delivers the rated current for a 3 type of load. Therefore, it is a unity power factor is a 0.8 power factor lagging and a power factor is a 0.9 of the lagging. The output of this alternator for this load will be, we can write here to 230 into 50 into 1. So it is a 11.5 kV. When it is a 230 cross 50 into a 0.8 power factor lagging, so we can write here to 10.35 kilowatt. When it is a voltage is a 230 watt and a frequency is a 50 hertz and a power factor lagging is a 0.9, so there is a 9.2 kV output. Suppose the armature resistance is a 0.5 ohm, armature resistance Ra is equal to 0.5 ohm, then the copper losses of each case will be 3I square R is equal to 3 cross 50 square into 0.5. So the output is 3750 watt, which is the same as in all cases. So this copper losses is not dependent on a power factor. Through the output power of the alternator is different. The copper losses include the temperature rises of the alternator and ultimately it decides the rating of a synchronous generator. The iron losses also causes the heating of a machine. The iron losses are proportional for the voltage. Since all the electrical machine operate at a constant voltage, the iron losses is a constant. If produce the constant heating of a machine. Thus, the copper losses and iron losses ultimately causes the heating of a machine. The insulating material is desired for the specific temperature. If we have the desired rating of the machine, we should consider the optimum output without exclusive temperature rises. So the temperature rises is due to the copper losses and iron losses So it can be said to depend on the current and voltage rating. Thus we can say that the current rating is directly proportional to current into voltage, and voltage ampere or directly proportional to the kVA for the large capacity output. Now we take the next point is a generator on no load condition and the generator on a load condition. When the generator is on no load condition, the armature or a stator winding is open circuited. There is no armature current and hence no armature flux. Here is the figure of a generator on a no load condition. This is a stator winding and this is a field winding on a rotor. Here the no armature current in this winding and the EMF is point number 1 to O. Here is a RYB and is a grounding point is a O. Here is a open connection between R and Y. There in the load part, this is a open connection. This is a stator winding. In the field winding is a DC supply given to the VDC. In the second figure, there is a stator winding which is known as the armature part and rotor is N or S pole is a field winding is connected. In the stator part, there is a R1 is a plus sign and R2 is the dotted point. So this is the we can write here to here say clockwise direction. In the B1 point, there is a B2 is a plus sign and B1 is a dotted sign, and Y1 point, Y1 is a dotted sign and Y2 is a plus sign. The main flux include in the EMF in the armature winding, the direction of induced EMF as per the Fleming right hand rule. It is marked on above figure by plus and dotted sign. The EMF lags behind the main flux by 90, which here we can recall the transformer theory. There is known as the EMF E1 is induced due to the electromagnetic induction lags by phi m by 90 degree. Similarly, in this case of alternator, also the EMF E is induced due to the electromagnetic induction and its lags by 90 degree. This phasor relation we can also write here for the same. There is a phasor relation in the phi m and E. Phi m draws here and the E is a lags behind the phi m. So we know that in the E1 is lags behind phi m, so the phasor relation is a 90 degree. So in the Y phasor we can write here for phi m and E is a x axis. Now we discuss the next point is a on load of the generator condition. In the other parts is a generator on load condition. Here we draw the armature flux phi a in this on load condition, and here this figure is a on load condition when the switch is closed, switch A, switch B or switch C is closed, so the winding is connected to the load part. In this connection, when the load is connected, the induced EMF E is produced in the current. To feed the load as a circuit is closed. In the phasor relation of the armature current with EMF depends on the nature of the load. The load may be resistive, inductive or capacitive, and hence the load power factor may be unity, lagging or leading condition. So we can write to hence the current IA is maybe in the phase with E for a positive unity power factor, it may be lagging or leading to E for a lagging or leading power factor of a condition of a load. The armature current will produce its own flux. So the armature flux phi A is proportional to the armature MMF of the armature ampere turns. This armature flux produced by the armature current will interact with the main flux phi m and produced by the rotor. So this is a on load condition when we take a figure of a armature flux